Hey guys, insight number 4. Yes, my new home and out in the garden in the sunshine, although it is cold, but I'm enjoying the sunshine. It's nice. It's fast disappearing, so enjoy it while it's here. This insight, we're doing the story of Naaman that's found in 2 Kings 5. We're specifically looking at verses 10 to 14 and concentrating on what happens there. But just a little bit of backstory. So Naaman is captain of the guard over in Syria, and he has leprosy. He's got leprous feet at this time, but he's like a well-to-do person. He's honourable, mighty man of valor, yet he has leprosy. So first of all, it doesn't matter who we are, we all have but they have this, it might be world famous, like you take the Queen. Oh, she's this and she's that and she's something else, yeah, but she also has family problems, doesn't she? So we all have something. She's probably got more than that. But we all have something. Like, we might look like everything's good and sound like everything's good, but we all have but something. So that was the first sort of point there. So he wanted to recover his leprosy, and one of his dear little maids who was captured from Israel said, there's a prophet over there that will heal you, go see him. So first of all, he has to go see the king, and the king's like not interested because they're enemies, but he does eventually go to Elisha, and Elisha sends out a servant to tell him, which is where we get to in verse 10, sends out a messenger. So let's start reading in verse 10. So verse 10 says, and Elisha sent a messenger unto him, saying, go and wash in Jordan 7 times, and thy flesh shall come again to thee, and thou shalt be clean. And Naaman was wroth. He was angry. Because this was not how he was used to be treated. He was used to being like bowed down to, loved, and Elisha didn't even come out in person to see him. Tells him to go bathe in the Jordan. The Jordan is a filthy dirty, not polluted dirty, just a dirty muddy river. And there's some beautiful waterways in Syria. He's like, can't I go? That's what he goes on to say. So he says there, Naaman was wroth and went away and said, behold, I thought he will surely come out to me, but he didn't, and stand and call on the name of the Lord and God and strike his hand over the place and recover the leper. So he was expecting the prophet to come out and make some big show and dance and go, you are healed. But this is the test for Naaman to show that that's not actually how it is. The rhythm of healing works in a different way. We go into 12. It says, are not Abana and Pharpar rivers of Damascus better than all the waters of Israel? As in, like, these are beautiful rivers. Why can't I go bathe in those? Because the Jordan is if you live around Hamilton, it'll be like saying, go swim in the Waikato. By the way, don't make sure you don't have any open cuts on your legs, because they'll get infected. Sewage pumps right into it. So, yeah, better than all the waters of Israel. May I not wash in them and be clean? So he turned and went away in a rage. He was mad. And 13, and his servants came near and spake unto him and said, my father, if the prophet had bid, like father as in respect, if the prophet had bid thee do some great thing, wouldst thou not have done it? How much rather then, when he saith to thee, wash and be clean? So in other words, if he had asked you to do like some magnificent feat, you would have done it because it was grand. But he asked you to do something simple and you discarded it because, well, that can't be right. Now we've talked about this before, so let's carry on to 14. So Naaman humbles himself, and he went down and dipped himself 7 times in Jordan, according to the saying of man of God, and his flesh came again like unto the flesh of a little child, and he was clean. So that's the whole story of Naaman there. And he carries on and testifies that the Lord is right and the prophet is right, and actually goes and goes on to offer a reward, and Elisha says no, and then Gehazi changes his mind, and then we read about why we don't take rewards for blessings. So read the rest of that, because that's good. But I wanted to focus on how we sometimes, like Naaman, where we take what the prophet says and count it as naught because it's not a grand thing. Now, if the prophet says, read the Book of Mormon by Christmas time, or by the end of the year, we're like, oh, how's that going to bless our lives? We read the book more every day kind of thing. It's like, yeah, but did you actually do it? Because the promise is sure. It did bless my life when he said that some years ago. It was right around the time my dad passed away, and honestly, reading that every day centered me and grounded me, kept me above board. And I know there were many other miracles for people who were reading it, and the closeness I felt to the Lord, huge. And sometimes we're like his servants, where we can say, actually, small things good, and we can encourage other people to do the small things. So do we shun the simple things from the Lord because they are not the answer we thought? This is really a story of humbly finding value in obeying the small things. Because on which dip in the Jordan did he get healed? 1, 2, 3, 7? Did he have to wait till the 7th time? It was about obeying something that was simple and learning to do what the Lord asked you to do. Specifically, go bathe in a dirty river 7 times. And you'll be healed. And like, if it had been a clean water, then you'd be like, oh, it was the water that did it. But because it's in the Jordan River where it's really dirty, you know it was the Lord that did it, because there's no way that water's healing anything. Which is kind of nice that, Jesus was actually baptized in that water too, to show that even though it was dirty, that it's not the actual water that makes you clean. It's the act of doing what you're doing that makes you clean. Cool, right? Naaman's servants convinced him to try what Elisha said, and it worked. It's a rhythm of healing. Like waves on a beach, it's the simple little things that bring true healing. So it's not the big grand gestures that actually bring true healing. The true healing comes through the simple little things we do every day. Our scripture study, our come follow me, our prayers with our family, our personal prayers, our lift where we stay in service, all of those little things. The pictures we put in our home, the things we surround ourselves with, the stuff we watch on TV, the screen time we have elsewhere, how we talk to other people, all of those things. Those small, simple little things that you might discard thinking there's nothing in them, that's actually where the miracles are and where the healing is found. So try and look at that. Elder Christopherson, he said, I truly believe that by your small things, our mighty God will do to you great things. And I absolutely know that's true. So there you go. Think about that. All right, we're going to head over to 2 Kings chapter 6. I'll see you there for the last one for this week. See ya soon.